What's going on, guys? Today we are talking about marketing and, in particular, your client avatar. Now, before we begin, as always, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps us to reach more people, to help more people, and to create a larger impact. Now that you've done that, and I know you've done that, thank you very much, by the way. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk client avatar. Because often people get sent to me to work on marketing. And people typically they want more new clients or they want more new team members. But let's talk about clients in this example here today. Team members, similar process actually. So people will come and say, Pete, I want to get more new clients. I just don't know where to start. And I'm spending this money on Google and I'm spending this money on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm putting this into sponsorship deals. And we're working with these partners and these referrers, and I'm just not getting anywhere. I just don't seem to be getting a return on investment, a return on this time, a return on this money. I don't know what's going on. And so typically what I do is I say, all right, well, cool. Let's pull this back right to the start. Okay, let's not even talk about ad spend and the ads and all those sorts of things. Let's pull it back right to the start. Who are your ideal clients? And how clearly can you articulate these people? Okay. And do we understand these people? Do we understand their problems, their pains, their frustrations, their fears, their wants, and their aspirations? Can we articulate that better than they can? And if the answer is no, and it's nearly always no, I'll give you a hint, nearly always no, we have to come back and we have to really nut that out because that's where you start. That's the foundation. Any marketing program or any marketing plan you're creating, your foundation is your client avatar because we really need to understand this to the nth degree. You really need to get this done. So if you haven't already done this, or if you think, hey, this could be improved, and I can almost guarantee it could be improved, it can always be improved, right? Grab out a pen and paper, your laptop, your iPad, whatever it is, and let's work through it now. Because let's say, for example, your client avatar that you say is we like working with musculoskeletal patients. Cool. It's a pretty wide client avatar. Let's really nail this down, okay? We can have more than one client avatar. Let's pick one. Let's be really specific here. Let's talk through people who have shoulder pain. Okay, let's start there. People who have shoulder pain. Now, if we're looking at people with shoulder pain, well, let's be specific. What type of shoulder pain are these people going to have? So let's really write down like what are the types of shoulder issues that we want to target. Okay. And then from there, we want to understand, well, who is most likely to have these problems, but will also pay to use our service. Okay, so you might say, for example, that people in the 18 to 24-year-old range are less likely to seek your service than someone who might be in the 45 to 60 range. Okay, just for example here, it just may be that people who have more life experience, a bit older, more finances behind them, are more likely to engage in a private service like physiotherapy, osteo, chiro, whatever it may be. Now, if you're in PEDS and you're on the NDIS, you can still do this. You've just got a different client avatar. So please follow along at home. Okay. So we want to understand what are their problems and we want to understand who are the people we want to get in. What are their problems? What are their pain points? So let's start there. Okay. Now, if in this example, we're saying people with shoulder pain, we want to get these people in, but let's be specific. We're saying 45 to 60-year-olds. Now, we can be even more specific and we might say, all right, we want women 45 to 60. Now, this may come from you currently working with a lot of women aged 45 to 60 with shoulder pain. This is probably where you get these ideas coming from. And you might look at it and go, all right, well, why do they come and see us? What are the issues there? And typically they're not coming in going, Pete, my shoulder's sore. They're coming in because my shoulder's sore and I can't do this. It's preventing me from doing this. I'm worried about this. And those are the key things here. Those are the key messages that we really want to understand. And it may be that my shoulder's really sore, and when I'm hanging the washing out, or when I'm playing with my kids, or when I'm playing tennis, or whatever it may be, but write those key things down, right? Get a list of the things that you hear the most, the things that your team hears the most. It's an exercise you can do with your team and understand what is the structural problem that's happening here, from the clinical perspective, But then at the same time, what are they actually complaining of? Where is it showing up in their life? It may be that, hey, when they reach to grab their seatbelt, really painful. It could be when they do fine motor movements, so like doing their teeth, their hair, whatever it may be, really, really painful. It could be when they put their hand behind their back. That's causing them pain. But what are those activities where they're putting their hand behind their back? What are the activities where they're doing their teeth? These sorts of things are things that you would consider because it's going to form your marketing messaging eventually. And then understand what are their wants and what are their limiting beliefs around their wants and their aspirations. So for a lot of people, they just assume that they're never going to get better or they can't improve or there are limitations that are going to stop them from achieving X, Y, Z. And so if you market to those things, well, then they're actually not going to use your service because they don't think it's realistic. They don't want to go use a service that says they can do whatever they want to be. They can go back to playing tennis or whatever it may be. When in their mind, they're like, my shoulder's past that. If I do that, it's going to get worse, right? I just want someone who can get 30% of the pain away, or I can get back to doing these basic things. So we may need some education in there. So now you're starting to think along some different lines of specifically talking to that client avatar. And we're not just saying, hey, come in for if you got muscular pain. Now we're specifically saying, hey, if you're having pain when you do these three specific movements, when you're getting pain when you grab your seatbelt, you're getting pain putting your hand behind your back to do a bra, you're getting pain when you're putting washing on the line for a few minutes with your arms in that position there. Now we're really specifically talking to this person. Now, again, this is a fictional person in this example. From there, we can say, did you know? And then we can start to move into educating them around this is where you are now. This is where you'd like to be. This is where you actually can be. And this is the path to get there. Okay, but it all starts with the client avatar. We need to know who this person is. So write down specifically who is this person. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be just men or just women. It can be both. But really specifically write down who is it? Gender. How old is this person? What is their age? Okay. What is their socioeconomic status? What is their family status? Write everything about them. What kind of job do they have? What do they do for work? What do they do for fun? Write all of these things down. And then write down what are their frustrations. So what right now are the things that are frustrating them? Now, this doesn't necessarily mean the actual problem. It may just be the symptom of the problem, okay? So frustrations are your symptom of the problem. And then what are their fears? What are they fearful if they don't do anything about this right now, over the next 6, 12 months in the long term, what are they fearful is going to happen? If they don't fix this shoulder right now, what are they fearful is going to happen in the future? So now we've got their short-term frustrations, and now we've also got their fears if it doesn't get fixed, okay? Now we want their wants, okay? So we've got their fears. Now your wants are just the opposite of your fears. This is frustration, sorry. So if you've written down a frustration and the frustration is, I get pain when I brush my teeth. Well, the want is to get no pain when I brush my teeth. If I'm getting pain when I grab the seatbelt in the car, well, then the want is to have no pain when I grab the seatbelt in the car. Okay, so it's just the opposite of the frustration. Okay, so that's our want. And now we want our aspirations. So our aspirations are if we fix the wants, the short-term frustrations, we fix those, we get what they want now. What does that allow them to do in the future? Okay, so write down, what does that allow them to do? It may mean they can do more activity with their friends, family, social activities, physical activities, sports, things like that. Whatever it may be, write down what you believe their aspirations to be. And if you're not sure, then ask them. Find these ideal clients of yours that you're already working with. Ask them, okay? So this is how we start to map out who your client avatar is. And then we want to think, who can refer these people into you? So create a list of who do these people look up to that could refer them into you. Okay, so get a good understanding of that. And slightly outside the box one that we used to use, if we're looking at, say, like a female demographic of 45 to 60, was hairdressers. Fantastic referrers. Really, really good referrers because they spend a lot of time with people. They talk to people a lot. They understand the problems that people are facing. So if you can build really good relationships with hairdressers, Well, for that demographic, it's the perfect referral partner because they start to write down the different referral partners. It may be different surgeons, shoulder surgeons, obviously. It may be different sporting clubs. It may be local mums groups, whatever it may be. But write those down, get that down on paper, and really understand who can refer those clients to you. Who do they look up to? Who are they going to see for this problem? Now, if it's a problem that they're likely going to go see their GP for, well, then you've got to build relationships with GPs. If it's a problem where they're going to see a surgeon, surgeons will be the people you need to build relationships with. If it's a problem that they may go and see a personal trainer for or a massage therapist, then they are the people that you want to build that relationship with. And then also thinking outside the box, like I said, with the example there with hairdressers. Okay. So hopefully, as you start to understand how we use this client avatar, the importance of spending time mapping out who they are, who they look up to, who they respect, who they listen to, that will give you an understanding of how to really talk to this person. And then we've got their frustrations, their fears, their wants, and their aspirations. And just understanding that in marketing, people are typically very focused on their frustrations and their wants, more so than their fears and their aspirations. But if you look at most marketing campaigns in healthcare that I see anyway, they focus a lot on the long term fears and the long term aspirations. But people often aren't there yet. They're in pain, they're in the moment, they're focused on the thing that's frustrating them right now. So, in your marketing campaign, when you really map out your client avatar, you're going to be focusing ideally more on their frustrations and their wants. All right, my friends, I hope this has been helpful to get you starting 2024 by thinking about how can I map out my ideal client avatars. You're going to have most likely more than one ideal client avatar. And this is the foundation. This is the foundation on which you build your marketing on. I hope you got something out of this. Leave a comment if you learned something, and I will see you in the next lesson, my friends.